Welcome back to your favorite channel. In today's video, we will dive into the chocolate and peanut butter haven, your favorite and my favorite and everyone's favorite Reese's peanut butter cups. Let's get started. The American businessman and inventor Harry Burnett Reese is credited with starting the H.B. Reese Sweet Company and developing Reese's peanut butter cups, the top-selling sweet in the world. He received a posthumous induction into the Candy Hall of Fame in 2009. But did you know he created the famous candy by an accident? You don't, right? On the Frosty Hill Farm, an agricultural and dairy farm close to the Muddy Creek Forks Historic District in York County, Pennsylvania, H.B. Reese was born on May 24, 1879. He was the only child of Annie Belinda Manifold and Aquila Asbury Reese Jr. and was of Welsh and English ancestry. Reese was inventive when it came to making money as a young man. In addition to farming, he milked cows because it was a quick method to get money. Even better, he constructed a pond where he raised frogs that he later sold to Baltimore area restaurants. Reese was a proficient French horn player by 1898 and played in neighborhood bands. Reese wed Blanche Edna Hyson on August 1, 1900. Together, they had 16 children, 8 daughters and 8 sons, 13 of whom lived to maturity. And for the rest of their lives, Reese's mother Annie Belinda Manifold and her sisters Mary Collins and Elizabeth Turner resided with him. A regular Reese family meal included at least 20 people, and occasionally there were as many as 40. As a result, Reese constantly battled to find additional money to cover all expenses. In 1903, Reese was overseeing the fishing division of his father-in-law's Ditchley, Virginia, cannery company. He ran a dairy farm in Woodbine, Pennsylvania in 1912, but to support his expanding family, he got a manufacturing job in 1915. Milton S. Hershey placed an advertisement in the York Daily Record in 1916 looking for workers to manage and run his multiple dairy farms in the Hershey, Pennsylvania region. Reese happened to see this advertisement. Reese was employed by Hershey in 1917 to work as a dairyman at Farm 28A. Hershey then asked Reese to run the Round Barn Dairy Farm in 1918. Every 2 weeks, Hershey would go to the Round Barn, a dairy farm that was experimenting with new milking machinery as he looked for novel ways to treat animals and produce milk. However, Hershey closed the Round Barn in 1919 because it was too expensive to run. When Reese lost his job in 1919, he started a new company called the R&R Candy Company, which he ran out of an old canning plant in Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. There, he produced milk chocolate-covered almonds and raisins and sold them to nearby shops. Reese understood that in order to maximize the potential of his candy company, he required top-notch manufacturing equipment. He changed the name of the R&R candy firm to the Superior Chocolate and Confectionery Company in January 1920. He then proceeded to find the equivalent of $290,000 in today's dollars by issuing shares in the newly established firm. Isn't that amazing? However, the company ultimately collapsed. And in order to provide for his 10 children and another kid who was on the way, Reese accepted a job at a paper mill in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania, where he also worked as a butcher. He had a third job in which he canned veggies too. Poor lad, no. For his son-in-law's expanding family, Reese's father-in-law bought a house at 18E, Areba Avenue in Hershey, Pennsylvania in 1921. Afterwards, Reese quit all of his employment and came back to Hershey, where he started working in the shipping department of the Hershey Company's plant before being quickly promoted to foreman. He gave sweets another shot and produced a variety of confectionery items on the side, working out of the basement of his Areba Avenue home, including hard candy, chocolate-covered nuts and raisins, mints, and 2 well-known milk chocolate-covered caramel coconut candy bars he called the Lizzie Bar and the Johnny Bar, named for his son John and his oldest daughter Mary Elizabeth. Fresh ingredients were used in the production of both bars. The primary distinction between the two bars was that the Johnny Bar contained nuts. Reese's chocolate coatings had always been made with chocolate produced by the Hershey Company. Reese eventually found enough success to leave his position as a factory worker at the Hershey Company and go out on his own to make a living making candies. In 1923, Reese founded the H.B. Reese Candy Company. His staff hand-coated each candy piece on marble slabs before packing them into 2-pound and 5-pound boxes for sale in candy displays in department stores. They offered a wide variety of candies on consignment. Reese had his staff coat candy in front of passing customers while other employees distributed newly prepared samples at special coating tables he had put up in the front display windows of prominent downtown department shops. But even so, the business still needed a differentiator. That finally happened in 1928. Reese created Reese's Peanut Butter Cups after one of his customers in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, complained about supply issues with another confectioner who manufactured a candy consisting of peanut butter wrapped in chocolate. He executed the idea of creating this by buying a 50-pound jar of peanut butter with which he experimented to get the perfect candy. After many failed yet tasty attempts, he moved to traditional cups instead of balls. These cups were around for a couple of decades but were not that famous. The fame only touched Harry and his creation. Isn't that simply miraculous? The candy was added to Reese's various chocolate lines after he created an automated production technique. Soon, the business was selling boxes of 120 individually wrapped cups for 1 penny each. By 1935, Reese had successfully paid off the debts on both his home and business thanks to sales of the penny peanut butter cup. This was notable in particular because the United States was still suffering from the Great Depression and chocolate was seen as a luxury at the time. The item grew more well-liked and soon replaced Reese's other priorities. He stopped making his other sweets during World War II due to material shortages and financial restrictions. The 5-cent cup was introduced in 1943, and when manufacturing of packaging machines and plants was automated, the sales of Reese's peanut butter cups increased every 4 years. Reese started building a second facility at 925 Reese Avenue in Hershey, Pennsylvania, before he passed away in 1956. This brand-new, cutting-edge facility, which was finished on November 30, 1957, included 100,000 square feet of cutting-edge production equipment. It had cost the equivalent of $6.9 million at a period when Reese's peanut butter cup sales were $125 million. After a brief illness, H.B. Reese passed away on May 16, 1956, 8 days before his 77th birthday, from a heart attack. Later, in a tax-free stock-for-stock merger, his sons merged the H.B. Reese Candy Company with the Hershey Company on July 2, 1963. The H.B. Reese Candy Company had recently added 200,000 square feet of brand-new, cutting-edge manufacturing capacity to its 925 Reese Avenue facility in Hershey and was commemorating its 40th anniversary at the time of its 1963 merger. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups overtook other Hershey Company products as the company's best-selling item in 1969, just 6 years after Reese and Hershey merged. As of today, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are the #1 selling candy brand in the United States. With almost $2 billion in yearly sales for the Hershey Company, it is also one of the best-selling candy brands globally. Additionally, the Kit Kat is produced in the U.S. by the H.B. Reese Candy Company with sales of $948 million in the U.S. as of 2012. Harry once famously said, if you make a product that both young and old enjoy, then your potential customers are limited only by the number of people on Earth. And it proves to be true as today Reeese sells its products in many different variations and form like big cups, minis, dark chocolate, white chocolate, marshmallow, hazelnut cream, and so many more. That concludes today's video, which I hope you found exciting and fascinating. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel down below. To ensure that you never miss an upload, tap the bell icon. Comment down your favorite Reese flavor and share this video with your candy-loving friends. I'll see you again in the next one. Goodbye.